Hi there, friends. Welcome to my Stampin' studio. I'm Mary Knabe, coming to you live on December 4th, 5 p.m. Eastern Time from Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to my studio. I'm so glad you're here. This is the best part of my Mondays, is going live. You know how Mondays are, right? Couple things before we get started. Today I'm going to show you how to make a very easy, very quick, and wonderful cash card or money card for this holiday season. And of course it can be adapted to any occasion where you're gifting some cash. Before then, I just want to make mention that our September to December mini catalog is winding down. Many of the products are retiring. Some are carrying over. Some that are retiring are discounted deeply. And I haven't checked the list today, but many of these retiring or last chance products are still available. So check it out on stampinpiece.com. Click shop, and you'll be able to see everything that is left on our last chance list. So if there's anything available that you still want, please get it now. All of the last chance products are available while supplies last only. Also on the leaders group, Stampin' Up! Leaders group today, I was told that it looks like a clearance rack refresh or clearance rack update is going to be happening very soon. It sounds like it will be tomorrow, and maybe very early in the wee hours of the morning. And if you were a demonstrator, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, whether it be on my team or not, you know that tomorrow, December 5th, is a big day because we can pre-order from the January to April mini catalog, as well as earn some exclusive celebration products during our pre-order. Now, those of you who are not demonstrators, you will have the chance to start purchasing from our new mini catalog on January 4th, I believe. Yes, January 4th, as well as earn free celebration products. You can also earn extra Stampin' rewards during our celebration in January and February, and we have a great joining offer. Now, if you are currently one of my customers and have placed an order, Stampin' Up! Order with me in the last 6 months, I've already got you on my list. You will be sent the catalog and the celebration brochure directly from Stampin' Up! If you have not placed an order with me at that time, or if you are new to me and do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator that you're currently working with, I would love to earn your business, and we would be happy to send you a complimentary catalog. Please note, I do not send catalogs to demonstrators. Each demonstrator gets a complimentary copy from the Stampin' Up! Company itself, okay? So if you are in need of that, just let me know, and I'll be ordering my catalogs very soon and can get that worked out for you. And while I would love to show you the inside of the catalog, I'm not able to do that just yet, but be sure to save the date, January 4th, because I will be doing my traditional catalog walkthrough to show you some of my favorites. And we'll also be taking a look at the celebration brochure as well. And in the coming weeks, you might see me using some of my pre-order products or showing those. All right, so today I am featuring the Sending Cheer bundle, which we've used in the past. It has been discounted. I'm not sure it's still available or not. I believe it is. It was on the weekend. And I'm also using the Traditions of St. Nick's Designer Series paper, which is in our online store. You won't find it in a catalog. It's only in the online store, and it is beautiful. So let me flip my camera around now so we can get started with today's project. please share this live video, tag your friends in the comments, and invite more people to join because you're going to love this project. Oh, come on. It's a new month. Can you believe we are in the last month of the year? Hello, time flies, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, craziness. Let me straighten this out a bit. So of course we have a new host code. And as always, I appreciate you using the host code when you are purchasing less than $150. If you're purchasing more than $150 in product, please do not apply the host code because that's how you get the Stampin' rewards, okay? I'm just quickly going to show you some of the papers here in the Traditions of Saint Nick DSP. As you can see, and I've already cut up quite a bit here. As you can see, it's pretty traditional in terms of the themes as well as the colors. Here's some more. It's got the postal boxes. What else do I have here? I'm showing you some scraps. Sort of a friendly home scene with the hearth and Christmas tree sitting area, things like that. And then this one. And many of the patterns on the back are kind of that traditional, I don't know if Baroque is the right term to use, but kind of fancy designs, but really classic, I'll say. And of course, these are not necessarily, this backside, these are not necessarily just for Christmas only. Great for year round. So you'll want to take a look at that online, Traditions of Saint Nick DSP. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my cash card first. And then, I feel like my camera is pretty off here. I'll show you the sample first, and then I'll show you how to make it. So here's a nice wide pocket. Oops, obviously I didn't have glue on that side. But it has a nice wide pocket for you to put your bills in there, your cash in there, or if you send a check. And then you have some space here to write a message or stamp a message as well. You could even put some white at the top, okay? If you needed more space, you wanted to write a note, go ahead and put an extra piece of white cardstock up there. But let's go ahead and make this now. You're going to start, I'm going to get my paper trimmer and scoring out. You're going to start with a piece of paper that measures 8.5 by 7 inches, okay? 8.5 by 7 inches. And I am going to score at, I want to make sure I remember this correctly, 2 inches and, yes, 2 inches and 5 1/4. Just wanted to double check. So score at 2 inches and then 5 1/4 inches. So your finished money card holder or cash holder, cash card, is going to be 3 1/4 inches by 7 inches, okay? 3 1/4 inches by 7 inches. Now the small flap gets folded at the bottom and the large flap over it, okay? Let's go ahead and do some decorating. So 3 1/4 by 7 inches is the size of your closed cash card or money card. I'm going to add this layer of cherry cobbler cardstock, and it measures 6 3/4 by 3 inches. 6 3/4 by 3 inches. I have another piece of cherry cobbler cardstock that I'm going to put on the inside, and this measures 6 3/4, same length, by 1 3/4 inches. Okay. Of course, when I put this up on my blog, all those measurements will be there for you. And on the inside, I'm going to put some basic white in here. You don't necessarily have to make it the full depth here if you are making a pocket, but I just like to do that. And I know some people, do you remember, like, well, maybe they still make them, I suppose. I don't buy cards in the stores, so I don't really know. But I remember when cash cards were being sold, it wasn't a pocket, it was just a flap, okay? Just a flap. So if you're somebody who likes just the flap and not a sealed pocket, not sealed on the ends, you definitely want this white to be filling that whole space, okay? Then I have some designer series paper from that Traditions of St. Nick collection. And this measures 6 5/8 inches by 2 7/8. And that's just because I only wanted a very narrow border of the cherry cobbler cardstock showing. If you wanted more of that cherry cobbler cardstock showing, then I would make it, let's see, 6 1/2 by 2 3/4. Okay, so you have that. And then on the inside, I'm flipping my designer series paper over to show the Mossy Meadow pattern side. So this measures 6 5/8 by 1 5/8. Is that right? Am I doing my math correctly? 6 5/8 by, yes, 1 5/8. Okay. I was questioning myself. Now I'm going to go ahead and seal the pocket. Remember, the sealing part is optional with the gift card. I just kind of like to do it so that if they're pulling it out of a pocket, there's no possibility of the cash sliding out or falling out or anything like that. So as you can see, I just used a very small amount of my multi-purpose glue on both ends and holding it in place. Yes, Julie, this piece of DSP that I've chosen does double duty. I used the same piece, just flip sides. And I'm also doing that for the belly band, okay? Now my belly band measures, I have to think about this, yes, 1 inch by 8 inches. 1 inch by 8 inches. And again, it can be coordinating DSP, or you could also use cardstock in a coordinating color. Now, I like to hide my seams, whether I'm making a belly band or whatever. I always like to hide my seams. Now, I know that I'm going to finish off the front of my cash card with this stocking, and I die cut the stocking using the Sending Cheer dies, some white cardstock, and a piece of this cherry cobbler pattern DSP from Traditions of St. Nick. All right, so I know I'm going to finish off my card with this. So therefore, I want my seam for my belly band to be on the front. It doesn't matter if you have it on the back, but I think if you have the opportunity in your design to be able to cover up that seam, it just makes it all the much nicer, gives it a more professional look, little bit better craftsmanship. And I like to use more of a heavy-duty adhesive when I'm making a belly band. So I chose to use the Stampin' Seal for this. You can use the multi-purpose glue. You can use our tear and tape as well. So now I have my belly band. Remember, you want that belly band snug enough that it holds your card shut, but yet it will still move freely. And you can decide, do you want it in the middle? Do you want it to the left, to the right? And maybe where you position that belly band before you send it depends on the rest of your finishing. What are you putting there? Are you putting something that looks good in any position, maybe better in the middle? Maybe you have a long sentiment coming off it, in which case you'd want to take it to the left, or if you had a sentiment coming the other direction, whatever. You get the idea, right? I'm not going to stamp this because I don't know who you're going to give it to, or for, you know, you could do something as simple as a little for you tag right there, a to from. Maybe you don't want any sentiment on the front, but maybe instead you want to stamp a sentiment right here on the white. So I'm going to leave this one blank for now, but I am going to finish off that belly band, that stocking with, and where did it go? With some of this gold trim. The Simply Elegant trim comes in both silver and gold in the same package. So I love that. Sometimes projects look better with the silver, sometime with the gold, or maybe you have one favorite over the other, but yet you still use both of those pretty colors, especially this time of year. But of course, gold and silver isn't just for the holidays. Use it throughout the year. Challenge yourself. What other ways can you use gold and silver besides just during the holiday season? And I'm going to put a drop of glue right up here. And I'm going to drop the knot of my bow right there. And I'm going to use a clear block to simply hold that in place for a little bit while it dries. And I'm going to push this off out of the way for now, because I want to show you, let's put this back together, put the sample back together. And here is the designer series paper envelope I made. So when I'm ready to send this with the cash, I'll just slip it in there. I'll pull off the adhesive backing for my tear and tape, and I'll seal it. And then on the front, what I like to do is use like a white mailing envelope or a mailing label, or if you don't have those, you can just cut a small piece of white cardstock or white paper and write the address and put it on there. But of course, I need to show you how to make this, correct? So to make an envelope that fits that 7-inch by 3¼ inch money card or cash card, I've made this template, okay? And making this, I'm going to need a piece of cardstock or designer series paper. I think it's a little bit easier to make the envelopes with designer series paper because they're thinner. Plus, if you're going to the trouble of making an envelope, why not fancy it up with some fun DSP or pretty DSP? So I'm starting with a piece that measures 9.5 inches by 8.25. 9.5 by 8.25. And on this long side, so I've got it in the horizontal or landscape position, I'm going to score at 3/4 inch. Whoops, pressed a little hard there. And then 8.25. 3/4 inch, and then 8.25. And then I need to make 2 score lines on the short side. Now, here's where I want to tell you, this is going to end up being the end. The wider end here is going to end up being the end where you stick your card into it. The smaller score line, the narrower score line, is going to be the bottom, okay? If you have a non-directional paper, it really doesn't matter which end you score where, that sort of thing. It plays in if you have a designer series paper that is directional, okay? And you will see that in Thursday's Facebook Live, okay? But for this, it doesn't really matter. So just to review, and of course, I'll post this to my blog when I put this video and the photos there. 9.5 inches by 8.25. I scored it 3/4 inches and 8.25 inches on the long side. Moved to vertical position, and with that smaller part at the top, and that top, that's going to become the bottom or the end, the closed end of my envelope, I'll say. So I scored at 2 inches and then at 5 3/4 inches. So I'm going to burnish these score lines with my Bolden folder, just lightly. You don't have to press real hard. Oh, that's where I kind of cut through the paper there. I pressed too hard when I was scoring. Okay, then we're going to do, and because I don't want that to open up, let me grab a piece of Scotch tape. So here's a little fix-it, right? Has that ever happened to you? You scored through your designer series paper. That doesn't mean I want to cut a new piece of designer series paper and start over because I have this slit here. So what I'm going to do is on the inside, right? This side is going to be the inside. This is the outside of my envelope. I just brought those, brought the sides of those slit together and put a piece of plain tape over it. So now I want to do a little cutting, and this can be a little tricky to see. So work from whichever side is easier for you to see. I need to get rid of these 4 corners, okay? But when I cut them away, I'm cutting just outside the score lines, and I'm cutting at an angle to where those score lines meet. Okay, do you see that? It's not a perfect rectangle I cut out because I was cutting on the angles. So I'm just outside of the score line towards that center flap and just cutting away at an angle. I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom with these smaller pieces. Just cutting them away, but at an angle, okay? So the score lines came here. So I was working on just the other side of each of the score lines. And I do that because when I fold all of these pieces. They just give a nicer fold. It'll be a better feeling, better looking closure to the whole envelope, okay? Now we're going to use some tear and tape, and I suggest tear and tape for this part because it's a little bit stronger, right? This is going to be going through the mail. You're going to put a piece, and I like to work on the outer edge, but a piece on that small flap. And then you remember you've got a wider flap and one that's a little narrower. That is because there's going to be an overlap, and you want to put the larger flap down first and then the narrower one on top, and you end up with the seam right down the very center. So it looks super professional. People will probably think you purchased this. Instead of making it yourself, they're gonna be like, wow, you did that, Jenny? That is awesome. And you're just gonna love that praise, and you're gonna want to make lots and lots, right? And I bet lots of people are used to seeing your handmade cards, gift card holders, but here's a cash card, not just a beautiful cash card, but it's going to be sent in a wonderful envelope. So again, okay, this is the bottom of my envelope. The larger flap, center flap, is the top. Going to close that wider long flap, and then seal it with the other flap so I have the seam right down the center, perfectly centered. Then I'm going to, okay. Then I'm going to pull off the adhesive backing for the bottom of the envelope, fold it over, and now I've got the sealed end of my envelope. And look, you can't even tell that I had that slit because I fixed it with the tape. And I leave this on, especially if you're making these and you're not sending them right away. Here's another good reason to use the tear and tape, because you can leave this here with the adhesive backing until you're ready to send it. And then when you are ready to send your cash card, you just slip it in, pull off that adhesive backing to seal the envelope, and you're good to go. All right. Oh, that dried nicely. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think? Pretty darn easy, isn't it? Pretty darn easy. I guess I'm looking at my grid paper here and thought, oh, I should have maybe put a clean one on for you, but at least you know I've been busy, right? I hope you enjoyed this. Again, featured products are the Sending Cheer bundle for the dies, the Traditions of Saint Nick Designer Series paper. Keep in mind, this DSP is only available online. You won't find it in any of our current catalogs. So if you're looking for it, it's beautiful, but be sure to find it online, okay? If you would like to have your name put into the drawing to receive this cash card and the coordinating envelope, I would love to send it off to one of you. So if you want to be in that drawing, please type in the comments now. How about Traditions of Saint Nick? Traditions of Saint Nick. That is the name of the Designer Series paper, Traditions of Saint Nick. I don't know how many of you celebrate the Feast of Saint Nick, but it is this week. In my family growing up, as I understood it, it was a German tradition, and my mom is of German descent. So we would either put out stockings, or when we were very, very little, we even put out our shoes. And you put them out on the 5th, And then when you woke up in the morning, St. Nicholas had been there and left a little something. For us, it was probably like little candies and stuff. Nothing big, but some little treats. I remember my mom saying that she used to get like an orange and a pencil, something like that. So kind of a fun thing, and something I did with my kids when they were growing up. So just a fun little tradition. All right, everybody, you have a great rest of your Monday. I look forward to seeing you again on Tuesday. I will make a different type of cash card or money card with you. And in addition to that, we'll also be making a coordinating DSP envelope. So both the money card and the envelope will be a little bit different dimensions than what you saw today. So I hope you'll join me then Thursday, 2 p.m. Alrighty. And that's all, folks. So hope to see you soon. Have a good night. Happy stamping always.